Hi. It's just me, no need to jump. You, asked me to come back, right? It's about that time, isn't it? I'm a few minutes early. I just got excited, I guess. I left the last one on a cliffhanger, didn't I? I've been thinking about it non-stop. I just can't believe you actually asked me to come back. Maybe the king has a point after all. It does help a bit to have someone to talk to. Apparently I've been in higher spirits lately or whatever. No, it's stupid. Forget it. I mean, it's just nice to have someone who actually, likes to hear what I have to say. But I don't want to talk too much about myself. You didn't ask me to come here so I could ramble to you. You asked for another story. So, here it goes. Sing, O muses of the keen-eyed sorceress Medea, who, alongside her crewmate, has discovered a stowaway aboard the Argo with snake-like wires for hair, and the journey that fate has woven for all three of them. Muses great, grant me the ability to sing to you the hymn of a rotten place to call home.
Look, can you at least come out of the box so we can talk? I just want to know what you're doing here.
Oh yeah, talk to the potentially dangerous intruder like they're a cat in a tree. That's an excellent idea.
I just want to get a better grasp on what's going on here before making assumptions, okay? I won't hurt you. Can I open the lid?
I'm warning you, that really isn't a good idea. Looking in my direction can have negative consequences if I feel threatened, and right now, I feel more than a little threatened.
We won't hurt you. Will we, Medea? Medea?
I can't make any promises. Baffling, truly, how Atalanta has managed to survive so long, being overwhelmingly trusting. She knows that we just helped a fugitive, that there are already people who want us both dead. And yet, her first reaction upon finding an intruder on the ship is sympathy instead of caution. But she clearly isn't budging, and we're probably better off keeping them captive and alive. Fine, we won't harm you. Just come out and tell us what you're doing here.
Okay.
Crikey! Those things really move on their own? That's some pretty spiffy tech you got there, I'll say.
This is serious, Atalanta.
I am being serious. It's not every day you see someone with moving wires for hair. That kind of tech is way advanced.
And it's not the weirdest thing we've encountered. As I said before, who are you and what are you doing here?
Right. Funny story, actually. So, I was working for this company, right? But the economy is in shambles, as always. So, cuts had to be made, one way or another, and I got laid off. Because you know how corporations don't value their workers, and now I have bills to pay, and debt collectors to avoid, and no home to get back to. So I was just kind of squatting. And I saw an empty ship and thought, wow, what a great place to hide for a bit. And, well, here we are.
I don't trust a single word coming from their mouth, and I really don't like how nervously they fidget. Their wires move like anxious cobras, all aggressive posturing and threats of strikes. They seem on edge. That'll just make them more dangerous. I don't know exactly what this person's capable of, nor do I want to find out. I look over to Atalanta to see if she shares my mistrust, but I'm left once again with disappointment.
So, all those nifty wires come from your old company? Seems kind of rude to give you a bunch of cyber parts just to turn around and sack you.
You haven't answered my question. Who are you? What is your name?
That can't be that important to know, can it?
If you don't want a very sharp knife going through your throat, I think it's very important to know.
Fine. I just don't want anyone to overhear. My name's Medusa.
There. That isn't so difficult, is it? Listen, Medusa. I'm going to be blunt. I don't buy your story for a single second. And even if you did manage to sell me a story that wasn't the most blatant lie I've heard this side of Thebes, we aren't exactly in the position to take stowaways that will put a bigger bounty on our heads. So thank you, but no thank you. Get out.
Hey, let's not be too rash here, Medea. They're just a kid.
Actually, I'm old enough to drink anywhere in the galaxy.
Exactly. Still a kid. You aren't seriously suggesting we just leave them on their own when they said they had nowhere to go?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting, actually. I don't know if you've forgotten Atalanta, but we've got a lot to worry about already, and I really don't want to add anything else to the mix.
Don't be so bloody cruel. Medusa stowed away on our ship because they need help, and you're just going to leave them to some loan shark debt collectors? That's noble of you.
I'm not worried about nobility, I'm worried about staying alive, you idiot. I don't understand how you can be so damn trusting of this random kid who snuck onto our ship. For all we know, they could be trying to kill us.
I'm not an idiot. I'm just not cold-hearted. They seem scared. They very clearly need our help. And I'd rather take a chance on a maybe traitor than leave an innocent person behind.
Innocent person who is very clearly lying to us. Don't you find them suspicious? How do you know they aren't some crony for Olympus Corp? They're embedded with some pretty advanced tech.
Which they gave an explanation for. Look, I don't care if you don't trust them. It doesn't mean we should throw them under the bus just to save our own skins. Come on, even you aren't that heartless.
Wow. Very kind of you. Oh, noble, good-hearted Atalanta. Fine. Keep your little stowaway and let's hope they don't get us both killed.
Don't try to be the bigger person here. All I'm saying is that maybe you're jumping to conclusions.
If I may.
You may not.
No, I'm very sorry to butt in, but you two clearly aren't understanding what the other person is saying. I think you just need to listen to each other. It sounds like Medea?
Mm-hmm.
Medea is trying to do what is least likely to get you guys hurt. And she?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she has a valid point. You guys don't have a reason to trust me, and I do potentially bring more danger. So she wants to get rid of me in order to protect you guys more. I think. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. Okay. And I think that Atalanta is trying to say that she doesn't feel right turning away someone who needs help. It sounds like she? Yeah, is trying to listen to your concerns about trust and safety, Medea, but I think she's trying to make you feel better by saying that the risk isn't that great, and that it isn't worth compromising her principles. Does this all sound right so far?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, good. It sounds like you might have said something that really struck a nerve with Medea.
She was being stubborn. Isn't my fault if she refuses to acknowledge the fact that I've principles.
That doesn't mean you insult her to get her to stop arguing. All you're doing is making her more upset.
She insulted me first of all, but...
Oh, okay, yeah, did she?
Yeah, you did. Fine. You are right about a few things. It was crossing a line to call you heartless, Medea. I'm sorry.
The apology barely begins to patch up the wound left by her words. I know she's being sincere, but it still sticks in my mind. Even I am not that heartless, as if I am some litmus test for cruelty, a barrier between humane and inhumane treatment. But I swallow my pride and keep on keeping on. And I'm sorry for calling you an idiot. But my point still stands. I don't trust them and I don't want them on the ship. It's too risky.
Listen, I get that you gotta protect yourself, Medea, but I gotta protect others. And I know you think I'm stupid or too trusting or whatever, but I know how to fight someone off if I need to. What if they are an innocent person and I just leave them to die? I couldn't forgive myself for that.
You are far too confident that you can handle every situation that'll be thrown at you.
Can you trust that I know what I'm doing a little bit? Medusa has shown that they're...
They. Both are good.
Sweet. I think Medusa has shown that they're not going to hurt us. We've given them plenty of opportunities with our arguing. And if they decide to pull something, both of us are more than capable of taking him down. We took down a Chimera together. Do you really think I'm gonna let some baby nerd be our downfall?
Baby nerd?
Fine. You can stay for the night in one of the empty rooms. Then we'll look for somewhere else to put you that isn't on our ship.
Thank you. You really have no idea how grateful I am to hear you say that.
One condition, though.
Anything.
You have to tell us the truth. The actual truth. Why are you really here? And what's got you so scared of someone finding you?
You mean you knew she was lying this entire time?
Of course I knew she was lying. I'm not totally stupid. A kid like her has no reason to get into that much debt that quickly, especially not when her job's fancy enough to trust her with tech like that. And with all those wires, have got to be considered a company asset too. They wouldn't be the kind of employee that just gets laid off.
And here I thought you trusted her.
Oh, I do. I trust that they're not trying to hurt us, but that doesn't mean I believe a single word they say, love.
Huh. Maybe Atalanta has a few more neurons bouncing around in that skull of hers than I thought. She always manages to surprise me. It's hard to grasp sometimes, this weird, intuitive intelligence of hers, but stars, is it something grand? Medusa must think so too, because the wires on her head are, once again, in position to attack.
Shh, it's okay. Calm down.
Wait, you can't control them!
The technology is iffy. They act on my emotional states rather than what I want them to do. Instinct, not logic. When I'm nervous or scared and someone makes eye contact with me, they kind of strike.
They strike?
Induce temporary paralysis on people so I can get away. Well, temporary in theory. That's why I warned you not to look at me in the eyes. Eye contact makes me even more nervous.
Yeah, you and me both, kid.
Okay, well, fair enough. Echo, can you run a full scan on our guest here later? I want to know more about this tech.
Affirmative. Shall I input data for this new user?
Yeah. User Medusa, limited permissions. Hopefully she won't have to stay too long. Speaking of Medusa, you've still got a story to tell us.
Right, I do. So, I'm not lying when I say I used to work for this big company and I no longer do. It was just a very dramatic exit, and my boss seems to be trying her hardest to tie up loose ends. I really don't want to know what kind of punishment a woman like that has in store. She's ruthless, you know. I'm about 95% certain she sent someone after me.
Ugh, great. So now we have a hitman to deal with as well. Who is your boss, anyway? Why'd she oust you so dramatically?
I wish I could tell you. I found something I shouldn't have. I think it's such a blur from the adrenaline and well, what she already tried to do. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you about it. The only other thing I know is that I'm really, really scared.
I hate to tell you this, but you probably picked the worst place for sanctuary. You're traveling with another wanted criminal, kid.
I know. I did recognize you. You're Medea, the witch. But in a way, I think that's better. You're pretty infamous, right? So you probably want to lay low. You won't turn me in, because that's too big of a risk for you.
You're always too smart for your own good.
Why do you think people want me dead?
Oh, I can think of a few reasons.
Well, we've had a very action-packed day today, and I, personally, am starving. That info's good enough for now. I'm gonna go make us some dinner. Come join me in the kitchen?
Luckily, Atalanta's managed to scrape together a meal that's edible, at least. As we sit and eat, Phineas's words come echoing into our minds. I still can't believe that's all he told us. They who crossed the Lord of Cerberus and made it out alive. How much more cryptic could he get?
I think anything more specific might have gotten him in trouble.
Yeah, well, instead we get a fun little riddle to solve. Do you have any ideas to who he might mean?
Echo, what do we know about Cerberus?
Cerberus, also known as Planet 9, is a current convict mining colony operated by Hades' division of the Olympus Corporation. Due to the large distance from the host system's sun, the weather is bitterly cold and almost uninhabitable.
Ooh, fascinating. What kind of artificial intelligence are they?
That's my girl, Echo.
Sorry, what kind of AI is she?
My name is Echo. I am a Series 4 modified nymph model artificial intelligence. It is my job to assist and aid you in any way possible.
Cool. This is a pretty old ship. I usually don't get to see vintage tech like this. I'd love to look around and study it if I get the chance. I know I'm only really staying the night, but if you've got anything that needs work done, I'd love to check it out.
What, let you fiddle with the ship? Absolutely
We've got to figure
not.
out our course first, but I'd be glad to show you around the ship after.
That sounds great. Oh my god, thank you so much, honestly.
No dramas. Now, as to where we're going, I do know a man who fought Cerberus and lived. And that's practically the same thing, I think.
It's closer than anything I have, so go on.
How familiar are you with reality television?
Oh no.
It makes sense. Hero types all chat with one another about quests and such. He'd probably have a bit of information.
So you're suggesting we visit an A-list celebrity at his home on our covert mission?
If you have any better ideas, I'd love to hear them.
Well, I...
So wait, who are we visiting then?
Hercules is the galaxy's biggest heartthrob and a professional idiot. Usually, people who made enemies of the Olympians wound up dead in alleyways with their families unable to prove they ever even existed. Heracles got a 12-season contract and his face plastered on billboards. I don't know why Hera didn't just kill him, but hey, it made them all a lot of money.
In the 12th season of Heracles and the 12 Labors, a reality television show produced by the Olympus Corporation, Heracles Hercules was given the task of fighting and subduing Cerberus. The season was viewed as a hit, with over 35 billion households across the galaxy tuning into each episode.
Echo, set course for Acalia.
Affirmative. The estimated travel time to Acalia is 15 hours. If we depart now, we will arrive tomorrow.
Medusa, you can come with us to Acalia. I think the distance should be far enough to throw your hitman off their tracks. Be warned, though, we will be keeping a close eye on you to make sure there's no funny business.
Yep, got it.
Oh, don't mind Medea. She's got that whole need for self-preservation or whatever thing that you were talking about earlier. Come on, let me show you around the ship a bit.
Atalanta shows our stowaway turned crewmate around the ship with a wide smile. I still can't understand how she's capable of being so cheerful around someone who's already tried to conceal very dangerous information from us once. I fear I may never understand what goes on in that mind. I would kill to know who this boss of Medusa's is and what it is they've done, but Atalanta seems to lack the same curiosity. Looking out the window, I can start to see Acalia. It's a small, beautiful planet split between two extremes. Almost half of the planet is in permanent blazing daylight, and a vast desert stretches across its sunny expanse, while an ancient gleaming glacier covers the parts in shadow. The small temperate zone in between is plastered with lush, blood-red forests. With nothing else to do while my crewmates are busy, I stare at the scenery and start counting down the hours until we land.
Lanto! Ain't this planet a beauty, Medea?
It is! Nice houses here too. I haven't seen a single apartment complex. It just looks like endless mansions. Wealthy planet.
Wealthy area, at least. From what I remember, the real nice parts of the planet are all pretty loaded. But nobody wants to live in a desert or an ice cave full time. It's all holiday homes and run-down flats out there.
Well, that certainly sounds pleasant. Does Medusa know where she'll be going once she leaves the ship?
I'm right here. Actually, I was wondering if I could go with you to see Heracles.
Why would you want to? Doesn't that seem dangerous?
Well, I figured I'm in danger either way. Only if I go with you guys, I can also be your on-the-road conflict management.
Oi.
I'm not against it, but showing up to a celebrity's house probably isn't the best for someone who's trying to go into hiding.
Well, okay, here, how's this? Oh, calm down, you don't even have nerve endings.
A scarf round your head and a pair of glasses. That's your disguise.
Most people only know me by my hair. I hide it and all of a sudden, whoosh, it's like I'm invisible.
Makes sense to me. It's not like they're on the galaxy's most wanted list. Let's head out. See you, Echo!
If you're looking for where Hercules lives, look for the swarm of paparazzi surrounding a mega mansion. Then wade through about 5 more swarms to find the largest and fanciest house with 300-odd cameramen waiting outside its gates. And there it is. The whole place is larger than life and just dripping with tasteless opulence. The kind of thing you'd expect from a celebrity who's gotten too big for his britches. How are we supposed to get in without alerting any cameramen?
Oh, easy. There's a side entrance his staff uses. He told me how to use it once when I needed to get a really nice pair of sandals he took from me back, but didn't want my face in the papers. Last thing I needed was people starting a rumour that we're an item. I can picture the headline, "Handsome Herc seen with battle-scarred Butch. What romance is blooming between them?" Ugh, yuck.
Atalanta shows us around to a smaller side gate, hidden by walls of deep scarlet ivy.
Greetings. I am Oikos, a housekeeping and security unit. May I ask what you are doing here? What are you doing here?
We're just here to drop in on an old pal. Heracles is a good old friend of mine.
I will alert the master of your presence. Heracles Hercules is a great warrior and does not take kindly to unwelcome visitors. He has no appointments today with old friends.
Tell him it's Atalanta.
Well, then you should have led with that. Atty, it's been forever. How have you been? Come here.
I can tell by the grimace that Atty is not pleased with her little nickname, nor the death grip of a hug Heracles seems to have locked her in. She hates this, which means that I, personally, find it hilarious.
You sure are a strong hugger. Anyway, I was wondering if you knew...
You have to tell me how you've been. It's been years. You look great, by the way. I mean, you're a little greasy, and it definitely looks like you've been living on a ship for months.
I have been living on a ship for months.
But you're still ripped as ever. Oh, I would love to do a feature where we work out together or something. I think it'd be a hit. Oh, the network loves when I bring old friends on the show. Granted, because of the nature of it all, you might have to sign a waiver. You know, just to say, Olympus Corp is not responsible for any loss of life or limb. Oh, but that's just a bunch of legal jargon to cover the bases, you know. I had to sign all of them too just to get here. But imagine it! You could be a real star, Addie!
Sorry, Heza, but I'm not here to be a star today.
Oh my goodness, I've never introduced myself to your friends. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Heracles, but you probably already knew that, unless you live under a rock. I mean, actually, Atlas and Sisyphus both know me, so you really have no excuse. Oh, just some fun rock humor for you all today.
We don't have time for this. We're here to ask you about Jason
Let me show you around the house. It is massive and incredibly expensive. Oh, turns out they pay you a lot of money to look pretty, piss off Hera, and risk your life on camera. I don't see why everyone doesn't do it.
Is he always like this?
Yep.
Oh, wonderful.
Anyway, this is the main foyer. I hope you like the fountains. Nothing like running water to make a room seem fancy, right? Oh, can I offer you something to drink while we continue the tour? Oikos?
Yes, Master Heracles?
Come bring our guests something to drink. So, what's your poison nowadays, Addie? Beer? Whiskey? What about your friends here?
I think a healthy dose of cyanide would be lovely about now, thanks.
What's that? A liqueur? Oh, I like your style. Oikos, get this woman some cyanide.
Whoa, Oikos, do not do that. We're good for right now. Really, Heracles. I just wanted to talk to you about...
come on. The Addy I knew back in the day would never refuse a free beer. Oh, don't worry about spilling it. If you do, Oikos will clean it up.
Can we just sit down for a moment?
Fine. No beer. You can go, Oikos. Thank you for your hard work. Now, let's continue the tour. So, you've seen the foyer. Now I have to show you the main room. It is filled with so many sculptures. I got this interior decorator Khôra recommended. And while they did try to kill me, a lot of their work was really beautiful. Like the statue of me, right? Who knew? People still made custom statues. Oh, it cost a fortune, but stars, ain't it pretty to look at? It's like looking in a mirror. Only it doesn't move. Oh, if it did, I wouldn't be surprised, though. You never know when Hera's gonna strike again. Oh, she really does hate me.
Excuse me. Heracles, sir, I think my friends have been trying to ask you something for a while now.
Oh, hello there, smaller person. Actually, you look really familiar. Have I seen you at a meet and greet before?
Maybe. I'm a pretty forgettable face, though. You should probably work on forgetting it.
Wait, you look exactly like this kid my buddy was talking about. My buddy, real swell guy, right? He was telling me about this kid that Athena sent him to hunt after. Name was, Dersa or Mercedes or something. Said she was super dangerous. Wild stuff. You look so much like her. Is she like a sister of yours or something?
What?
Right, I'm definitely not them. But it's funny, we look so similar. Maybe we're distant cousins or long-lost twins. Or something.
Wild coincidence! Oh, yeah, but he was really complaining about it. Said she's slippery and hard to find, which is weird because Perseus is like the smartest dude I know, you know? Wonder what she did to get Athena so mad. Maybe she can get a sick reality deal out of it. Ooh, I'll tell Perseus to bring it up with Athena. Oh, I am so smart.
Athena? What could a kid like that have done to have Athena place a bounty on their head? It's not worth thinking about now, though. We continue Heracles' very long house tour until we circle back around to the foyer.
It's pronounced foyer, actually.
It's a chore, but eventually we manage to get him to sit down and listen.
One for you. Ooh, one for you.
What's this?
Why, my autograph, of course.
This'll make a good coaster.
Anyway, Heracles, I was wondering, did Jason ever tell you anything about the fleece?
Jason? Now that's a name I haven't heard in a while. You know, I wonder what he was up to. I heard he died, actually. Sad stuff. Isn't that crazy? You think you know a guy and then he treats his wife like crap and she goes insane and kills him. It's a wild story. I'm guessing you've heard of it.
Yes. Crazy stuff. Totally deserved it, if you ask me.
Oh, totally. If you ask me, it was always kind of an ass, you know? I wonder what his wife's up to now.
Ex-wife?
Probably in prison or something. Real shame.
The fleece, Heracles. Did Jason ever mention it to you?
Nah, never said anything.
Great. Okay, Heracles, that's all I needed.
Atalanta?
We really should be going now. Come on, Mercy. Let's leave Heracles to his busy schedule.
So sorry to disappoint. Thank you for the visit, though, Addie. You should stop by more often.
Yes, absolutely. Goodbye.
That whole thing went nowhere, and while I'm frustrated, my own anger is nothing compared to Atalanta's.
Ugh. Oh, that was a complete waste of time. A bloody dead end. Stars, I should have known better than ask a man with rocks for brains. Even worse, now we have even less of an idea about who Phineas could have been talking about.
It'll be okay, Atalanta. It's better to have checked it out than come to a dead end, isn't it? Now, you know where it isn't, at least.
Okay, hold on. Actually, Heracles did say something interesting. You seem to have forgotten to tell us that this boss you were running from is Athena.
Medea, now's not the time.
If you want us to risk ourselves enough to protect you for another moment, you better spill the truth this time. The whole truth.
Medea!
No, it's fine. I should have told you. The truth is really complicated. I did work for Athena, but it was so much more than that. She practically raised me.
I beg your pardon.
I was born in the midst of a dangerous revolution of Gaia. When I was too little to remember, Athena saved me from certain death. I was always grateful for it. For her. And like a mother teaches a daughter, she taught me everything she could. I was a very quick learner. A prodigy, even.
Very good work, dear. You almost give me a run for my money.
Thank you. Like you said, it's not that hard to learn AI. Especially not when you have such a good teacher.
Bright-eyed little Medusa. I think it's time you officially work for me. I know you're young, but Palace Tech could really use a mind like yours. You could learn even more under my wing. We can do so many great things together.
Really?
Of course. I'm a woman of my word. But I want you to know that I won't bend to sentiment. I'm not offering this position because I'm fond of you. I'm offering it because you're worthy. Do you accept?
Of course I do. It was weird to work under her. We did so much, created so many different kinds of technology. Athena had taught me about all these grand inventions, but never about what they would do. There's a lot of dangerous work in Palace Tech, and I was too curious for my own good.
You really shouldn't poke your head in there, Medusa. It's not something for a child to see. Medusa, stop it! These plans are confidential. Get back to your tasks. You've become so troublesome lately. If you have any questions, you can ask me. You know what they say about curiosity. Those kinds of questions really are important. We make the tech. What others do with it is none of our concern. Demeter doesn't care what dishes people make with all of her produce, nor should she. We're no different. Now, let's see this new program you've been working on.
Even though Athena tried to push me away, I kept looking. I needed to know what was going on. I can't exactly recall what I discovered. I'm being truthful about that, honest. I just know what I was working on was bad. I couldn't believe we were doing things like that, things that hurt people, and I had no idea. And when Athena found out that I was snooping, she threw me out. But I'd already found out too much, so I was a liability. Too dangerous. It didn't matter that she had raised me. She needed me gone. Stat. So she sent Perseus. And here we are.
Medusa.
Listen, I get that it's putting you guys in a lot of danger to keep me here, but I promise I'll make it worth your while. I can help repair anything that goes wrong on the ship. I can run system diagnostics or any potential problems of Echo, keep all the programs up to date. I can only kind of cook, but I am trying to get better, and I know that I can at least do better than Atalanta. I can also sew and do basic textile skills.
Listen,
maybe sometimes
kid. You're staying with us. After all of that, you don't need to justify yourself.
I wasn't expecting you to be so open-minded, Medea.
If her staying is okay with you, that is.
Of course it is. I just figured Miss always looking out for herself would be more, you know.
I guess I know what it's like to be them. I betrayed someone too, more than once. It's difficult and incredibly dangerous. The Argo was home to me back then, as troubled as my relationship to it was. It kept me safe. I hope it can be a better home to you.
I can't thank you enough, really. I'll do whatever it takes to make sure you don't regret it, I promise.
Don't let this get to you. This is pity and practical consideration.
Oh, don't listen to her. Medea's just trying to cover up that underneath that icy exterior of hers, she really is just a big softie, aren't you?
Don't push your luck.
Oh, come on, bring it in. It's like we're building a real team.
I'm not sure if the bear hug Atalanta brings us into is meant to be a sign of affection, or if she's genuinely trying to crush my spine, but it's strange. A better home for her than it had been for me. I called the Argo my home. All those years ago with Jason, and, on some level, now. Home. It's a rotten place to call home, really, with its stark metal walls and barren rooms and hallways, but if I close my eyes, I can remember a vibrant picture of the Argo back when it was filled with life. And here it is. Filled with life again, but something different than before. If I were an optimist, I might even call it something better.
Khôra Podcast is created and produced by Trenchcoat & Co. Productions. This episode of Khôra Podcast, A Rotten Place to Call Home, featured Kit McNeil's Medea, MQ Quinlan as Atalanta, Clary Jung as Medusa, Kat Hawthorne as Echo, Nicholas Hyra as Heracles, Jules Violet as Okios, and Hyan Lee as the Tail Spinner. Khôra's music and sound design is done by the Khôra team. This episode was written by Jules Violet, Celeste Lang, and the Khôra crew. To find out more about all the wonderful people whose work goes into making this show possible, check out the show notes below. Do you want to support Khôra? Tell your friends about us or post about us on social media with hashtag Khôra Podcast. That's hashtag KHORA Podcast. This podcast was made with no budget and lots of love by a group of friends, and so support truly means a lot to us. You can find us on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Khôra Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you for the next verse of our epic.